Hey guys, welcome back to Real Political Array. Let's start the show. In an era of globalized finance and transitional advocacy, the flow of foreign funds into domestic civil society has become a frontline issue of national security. For India, the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, or FCRA, is not just a compliance law, it is a strategic instrument of sovereignty. Today, we will break down what FCRA is, how it works, why it matters geopolitically, and how India's approach compares with laws in the Western nations and beyond. Now, before we start the detailed discussion on FCRA Act, one must understand the importance of this law, which is true and a sad fact which nobody can ignore. When we look around ourselves today, we see a dangerous pattern, which is misuse of foreign funds. And as we know, when foreign funding is twisted into a weapon of chaos, it becomes a silent poison that seeps into the veins of nations. What should have been a bridge of cooperation turns into a dagger of manipulation, financing unrest, fueling propaganda, and igniting divisions that tear societies apart. That's why protecting the interest, sovereignty, and social demography of a nation is must. So what is FCRA? The Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, or FCRA, is a law administered by India's Ministry of Home Affairs. It regulates who can receive foreign funds, how those funds must be routed, and what activities they can support. FCRA does three core things: identifies eligible recipients. NGOs, charities, associations, and companies can register, but politicians, judges, and media houses cannot. Mandates transparent routing. All foreign money must enter through a single designated account at SBI, State Bank of India, New Delhi, creating one auditable entry point. One of the most important point in this law, cause a lot of the time nobody knows who is giving funds to these charities and associations, for what purpose they are being given these funds, where are they using this money. All these questions should be answered to the state, and there should be accountability as they are operating inside India, not outside. Restricts sensitive activities. Funds cannot be used for activities that affect India's sovereignty, security, or public order. Another important point in this law, as for last few years there have been examples where these associations have been found funding illegal activities in name of charity and donations. And as we know, India has one of the world's largest NGO-NPO ecosystems, around 5.82 lakh NPOs. However, only a small fraction are authorized to receive foreign contributions. In 2024-2025, around 16,200 FCRA registered associations received approximately 22,963 crore in foreign contributions. Before going to the next point, I want to clear a misconception. Lot of the people in India thinks FCRA is something new. Well, no, it is not. The law was always there. Problem was there were lot of loopholes in the law which were exploited by some entities. To fix those lapses, government wanted to do this amendment. Hope this misconception is cleared now. So, evolution and 2026 amendments. First enacted in 1976 during the emergency, FCRA was overhauled in 2010 to create a modern compliance architecture. Major amendments followed in 2020, capping admin expenses at 20%, banning sub-granting, and mandating Aadhaar for office bearers. The main problem arises when this system is exploited, which I mentioned before. There were a lot of loopholes. Also, I want to mention when this video will be published, the bill has already been sent to Joint Parliamentary Committee JPC for more detailed discussion on this law. Anyway, some of the most important game-changing provisions this 2026 Amendment Bill introduces are: a designated authority to take custody of assets if registration lapses for preventing fund diversion, activity and state-specific registration. NGOs must declare exact purpose and locations replacing broad permissions. Minimum utilization threshold, rupees 10 lakh over 2 years to retain registration, ensuring only active entities hold live FCRA status. Explicit exclusion of indoctrination. Religious conversion is no longer a permissible religious purpose under FCRA. These changes plug operational gaps while preserving space for genuine humanitarian, educational, and scientific work. global comparison, and larger hypocrisy. The worst part is when India is trying to improve its national security, trying to protect its social demography, and making sure that India is safe from inside. Some countries are against it. Even their politicians commented against India's FCRA law, and their ambassador to India also did the same. I don't understand who gave them the right to comment on others' internal matter. And the biggest hypocrisy is that India is not alone who has FCRA-like law for foreign funding misuse. Democracies worldwide are tightening foreign influence laws. Let's compare it. United States of America, FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act 1938. The Foreign Agents Registration Act requires anyone acting for a foreign principal in lobbying or PR to register with the DOJ. Disclosures are public, penalties are criminal, and enforcement has intensified under Trump 2.0 administration. Wait a minute, this should be against democratic rights and freedom of speech, isn't it? United Kingdom FIR's Foreign Influence Registration Scheme 2025. Under the National Security Act 2023, the Foreign Influence Registration Scheme mandates registration for political influence arrangements with foreign powers with up to 5 years jail for violations involving enhanced tier states like Russia or Iran. Again, I guess not a single democratic values or freedom of speech violated here. Canada FITAA, Foreign Influence Transparency and Accountability Act 2024. Canada's Foreign Influence Transparency and Accountability Act 2024 both require public registries for foreign-funded influence activities with million-dollar fines and criminal sanctions. My, this should be questioned. How come such a ruthless act be there? Where are the democratic values? This law clearly violates freedom of speech. Who will ask these questions to the Canadian government? Guess nobody will. China Foreign NGO Law 2017. Beijing's model is the most centralized one. Foreign NGOs must partner with a Chinese government sponsor, submit annual plans, and accept inspections by public security authorities. Operations can be suspended instantly for threatening stability. By the way, you can't question China. That will be a stupid thing to do. After all, they are a dictatorship. Don't forget that. European Union Directive on Transparency of Interest Representation carried out on behalf of third countries 2023. The EU's Defense of Democracy package will require all 27 members to create national registers for lobbying on behalf of non-EU governments, following a Eurobarometer survey where 81% called covert foreign interference a serious threat. Wow, interesting, isn't it? And the most interesting part of all this data which I gave you till now, India's FCRA sits comfortably within this global family, stricter than the US on routing, more transparent than China on process, and aligned with Western democracies on disclosure. So now, will anybody explain me what is the actual problem with India's FCRA laws? When we are following the same template to deal with the misuse of foreign funding, why there are so much noise from some of these countries against FCRA? Please somebody explain me. I will be happy to know. Strategic and geopolitical importance. Why does FCRA matter beyond compliance? Because unregulated foreign funding is a vector for hybrid warfare, and for internal security, more stricter actions needs to be taken, like shielding sovereignty, stop foreign money from hijacking policies, elections, or regional stability, blocking narrative warfare, tracks donors, exposes covert influence, and prevent capital flight disguised as donations, protecting strategic sectors, closes loopholes in defense, infrastructure, and critical domains where funds can be weaponized. Global alignment keeps India in step with US, UK, EU tightening rules, boosting leverage in G20 Quad UN, building trust. Transparency fuels genuine partnerships in relief, climate, and health. Before we end the video here today, let's debunk some of the common myths around FCRA. Myth 1. FCRA bans NGOs. Fact, 16,000 plus NGOs received 22,963 crore in 2024-25, which means it regulates, not prohibits. Myth 2. India is an outlier. Fact, US FARA, UK FIRs, Canada FITAA, EU proposed directive all have similar laws, which I mentioned before. Myth 3. FCRA targets religion. Fact, faith-based welfare, temples, mosques, churches, gurudwaras remain eligible. Only forced religious activities trying to change the social demography are excluded. One of the examples is the CBI booked Tamil Nadu-based Karuna Bal Vikas for FCRA violations after the Home Ministry alleged that only 10% of its foreign contributions were used for their stated purposes, while the remaining funds were diverted through a network of around 300 NGOs, including for religious activities and trying to harm the demography. Myth 4. Government can seize assets randomly. Fact, vesting is provisional, applicable and religious sites retain character by law. But even if it is the case, seizing of assets should be there in the law, cause welfare or shelter infrastructure could be misused. It can provide logistical cover, accommodations or institutional protection to hostile or unlawful actors. For example, in Bangalore in May 2026, 4 foreign nationals, 3 Ugandans and 1 Burundi national who were facing active NDPS drug trials escaped from an NGO-run shelter where they had been temporarily housed pending completion of their cases and deportation proceedings. And for those who have doubt regarding all the data I have given till now, I humbly request please go and check for yourself for better understanding. You don't have to believe me. Please go and check for yourself. In the end of this whole discussion, I hope lot of doubts and misconceptions has been cleared, and before I conclude the video, I want to say that FCRA isn't about closing doors, it's about opening them safely. In a world of borderless money, transparency is India's shield. Since 1976 and reinforced in 2026, the law balances openness with oversight, aligning with global norms while protecting sovereignty. For analysts, policymakers and citizens alike should understand FCRA is very important for India to secure trust in financial globalization. Hey everyone, আশা করছি ভিডিওটা সবার ভালো লেগেছে আর এরকমই ডিটেইলড ইনফরমেটিভ ভিডিও আরো দেখতে হলে কিপ সাপোর্টিং মি সো হিট দ্য লাইক বাটন সাবস্ক্রাইব এন্ড কমেন্ট আজকের জন্য এখানেই শেষ থ্যাংক ইউ গুড বাই জয় হিন্দ